Here at Sapien, we believe in celebrating biodiversity in all its forms, including scaly, slimy, bitey, and those species that you might not be particularly fond of. But sometimes you have to go with what's cute. Meet the Hazel Dormouse. The Hazel Dormouse isn't the easiest creature to film, so we tagged along with the Shropshire Dormouse Group, who monitor these woods in central England. The group monitor this and other sites in the county, studying how the dormouse population is doing. As part of the monitoring scheme, these dormouse nest boxes have been positioned on trees, which the dormice will use regularly. After searching a lot of boxes, it didn't seem like we were going to be in luck, but box number 33 was a different story. With big ears, big eyes and a fluffy tail, this is the UK's only native species of dormouse. Eating a varied diet that changes with the seasons, including nuts, seeds and berries, the Hazel Dormouse needs a diverse habitat and an equally diverse supply of food. Once widespread across Great Britain, they're now found mainly in the south of England. A recent report estimates the Hazel Dormouse population has declined by over 50% since the year 2000.
The Hazel Dormouse lives in woodlands, and unfortunately the UK is way less wooded than it used to be, so for a start they've lost a lot of their habitat. And also now those woodlands are fragmented, there's roads, there's development. Dormice are an arboreal species, they travel through the trees, so they do need that connectivity.
There's also a lack of management. This is where woodland turns into high forest, with no understory trees. The place where dormice find food and shelter. Their decline is worrying on multiple levels, and it's not just because the UK will lose out on some much needed cuteness. Dormice are an extremely good indicator species, meaning if they're doing fine, the woodland in which they live is probably diverse and healthy.
For a lot of landowners, when they become aware that there are dormice on their land, they would like to do everything they can to help them. And what this means is that often you do see habitat management put in place, you see trees being planted, hedgerows being looked after. And not only does this benefit the Hazel Dormouse, but this benefits most wildlife. So I think that they're a really important species, not just for their own sake, but because management for them helps so many other species.
So how can we help this tiny mammal? Well, for starters, conservation organisations have carried out long-term monitoring of the Hazel Dormouse, which has highlighted its population decline. Now they're taking the next practical steps to make a difference.
At the Shropshire Dormouse Group, we don't want to just monitor dormice, we don't just want to watch them decline, we want to do what we can to help prevent that decline and maybe even reverse that trend.
So by using local data, the group can work out what management is needed and where. So what's something simple you can do to help Hazel Dormice?
Hazel Dormice will eat hazelnuts in a very specific way, and so you can identify just from one hazelnut whether a dormice has eaten it or not. So I recommend people, with landowners' permission, can go and visit a site and look for hazelnuts, see if they can find some that have been opened by dormice. If you find one nut that's been opened by a dormice, that's a record, and that can be amazing because it might be that people didn't even know dormice were there.
All this work and more are helping to make a positive future for the Hazel Dormouse. So whether it's valued for being a habitat indicator or simply a charismatic curiosity, we should make sure the future is full of Hazel Dormice. We're actually working on a video on how to make a Hazel Dormouse nest box, so look out for that in the future and don't forget to subscribe to Sapien.